Welcome back. It turns out I'm going to be doing a little bit of a series on some Bullpup Shotguns. This particular one is kind of the granddaddy of them all. We all know the UTASs and the KSGs. This is a mid-80s Mossberg factory Bullpup. I've changed a couple things on it, and we'll go over what's changed. But I kind of changed it to suit my own purposes a little bit. I saw this on the wall at the local gun shop, and I just could not resist. These were featured in movies and TV shows in the 80s and early 90s, and because of their space age look, and even now they still look pretty space age. What Mossberg did is they took their factory, their 18.5 inch barrel, 5-round capacity, and they also had a 590 version of this, the 7-round magazine that also has the bayonet lug and the 20-inch barrel, and put them in this same configuration. If they'd had that up on the gun shop wall, I would have bought that one, but this is the one they happen to have. Now, originally it came with, they call this luggage handle mounted to the factory heat shield, and your sights are in the top of the carry handle. Works pretty well just like that, you know, because of the plane of this shotgun. It doesn't have the little drop down at the comb where you can get your eye level with the barrel like you could on a regular shotgun. They needed that riser, kind of like an AR type rifle. So what I did to this one is, instead of modifying the existing heat shield and carry handle, I decided I'd buy a new Mossberg heat shield. I mounted a rail and a red dot to it. Works very well for my purposes. Another thing that was done to this is is a former owner, who knows how many it's had, mounted a sling swivel here and a sling swivel here, and they're both pretty useless. Mounting a sling to it isn't at all comfortable. I may find some way to mount a single point here, but I'm not a huge fan of single points. So we'll see what we come up with in the future. I added my Velcro shot shell carrier here. I went ahead and put my Velcro in 2 pieces here so I can still disassemble it as normal. Maybe sometime I'll do a video on my shotgun shell carriers. I make them myself, and they're neat. You unload them, rip them off, throw them on the floor, and grab another one. Underneath all this plastic is a Mossberg 500. Notoriously reliable, so reliability isn't an issue. The only thing that was a real issue with this particular shotgun is usability. One of the things I don't particularly care for is it has this grip safety, and the grip safety is really wide, and the spring tension is atrocious. It would actually hurt my hands using it for any amount of time. So I ended up cutting a coil or 2 off of this to relieve some of the tension. It still didn't feel any better, so get out Mr. Electrical Tape and the problem is solved. Trigger on these actually isn't too bad. There's a lot of slop and a lot of take up inside the trigger, but once you fire that first shot, the reset is really nice and crisp. It's just you got to get past some of that slop that's in the linkage. And once you get into these, there's other videos on there. The linkage is actually pretty nice. It was well thought out. It has some roller inside the trigger guard that kind of helps keep it centered and keeps it from flopping around. So they did a really good job on that. One of the other things I really dislike about this is length of pull. I'm 6'2", and I have pretty long arms, but on a combat type shotgun, I really prefer at maximum a 13.5 inch length of pull. On this particular shotgun, we're coming in almost at 14 3/4 inches. So length of pull on this, it's a bit much for my taste. The only way to modify this would be to get a different butt pad, fit it, and even then, even if you used a hard butt pad, I could maybe get 13 3/4, which would be fine. And that would be with just a hard rubber butt pad. And that would be the best I could get out of this. That's the biggest drawback to this particular shotgun. One of the other criticisms of this shotgun when it first came out, and even today, is that it's a little bit clunky and cumbersome. While I'll give you that, yes, it's clumsy and cumbersome, but once you shoulder this, it's just getting it to the point of shouldering it. That's the problem. Once it's shouldered, it points really well and it works really well. So once all that happens, it's a nice pointing shotgun. If I happen to find one of these on the wall of the local gun shop and I needed a shotgun for home defense and the price was right, I would use this for home defense any day. Another thing I don't particularly care for, I'm not a big fan of vertical grips on my shotguns. But this vertical grip is nicer than this squared off clunky forend. Overall, very nice shotgun. If you pick one up and you've got the spare money or you need a home defense shotgun, I would recommend this night and day and anytime in between. With my rail, I can also mount a flashlight here. I prefer these 45-degree mounts that kind of put it off. You can put it off either side, and they're pretty easy to hit with your thumb if you need them. I'll show you those on some of my other shotguns. But yeah, the Mossberg factory shotgun, absolutely love it. It's a nice throwback. There are a few of them still floating around there, featured in lots of movies just because of I think they're in the RoboCop movies and the Predator movies and those great 80s and 90s gems. I think they're even in a 1980s Vietnam movie. So it's set during the Vietnam War, but the guy's using a mid-1980s shotgun. So it's actually pretty cool. I think it's called, I want to say it's Steel Dawn or Steel something. It features the bad guy from the Karate Kid movie. The first Karate Kid movie. I forget what his name is. Great actor. Movie's cheesy as hell. But go find some videos on it. And if you can, find the shotgun. Very highly recommended. It's going to come in cheaper than some of your modern Bullpup shotguns, and you've got Mossberg reliability underneath it. So you can't go wrong there. Thank you for joining, and we'll have some more videos coming up. Take care.